In Luke, Mary and the other women are present at the tomb. They tell the disciples of the empty tomb, but the disciples dismiss the report as an idle tale, and they do not believe them. In Luke's account of the empty tomb, it is important to note that Mary of Magdala's account is not believed, while Peter's witness is accepted. Matthew's account mentions that Mary and the other women were present at the cross of Jesus. Mary of Magdala and the other Mary went to see the tomb on the first day. An angel appears and assures them that Jesus had been raised. Both women dash off to share the joyful good news with the disciples. While they're on their way, the risen Jesus meets with them. Greetings. And they came to him and took hold of his feet and worshiped him. Matthew chapter 28, verse 9. Jesus instructs the women to tell the disciples to go to Galilee, where they will see him. The focus of the Gospel of Matthew, like Luke, is on the role of the male disciples in the spread of the gospel. Hence, official ministry belongs to the 11, not to Mary or the female disciples. In Mark's description of the crucifixion, Mary of Magdala is described as one of the women who follows Jesus and ministers to him. She observes where Jesus is laid and brings spices to the tomb after the Sabbath. When Jesus rises, he appears first to Mary Magdala, who proceeds to tell the disciples. They do not believe her. The Gospel of Mark compares the faithlessness of the male disciples. Peter denied Jesus and Judas betrayed Jesus with the faithfulness of the women disciples. In other words, discipleship is about faithful service, even in the midst of suffering and death. In contrast, the male disciples, the 12, are focused on power and miss the meaning of true discipleship. According to the Gospel of John, Mary of Magdala is alone when she approaches the tomb early in the morning while it was still dark. Observing that the stone had been rolled away from the entrance, she ran and reported to Peter and the disciple whom Jesus loved. "The rabbi has been taken from the tomb. We don't know where they have put him." The disciples ran to the tomb, looked in, and saw the linen wrappings there. Then they returned home. But Mary stayed outside the tomb weeping. As she looked into the tomb, she saw 2 angels in dazzling robes. They asked her why she was weeping. She replied, "Because they have taken away my rabbi, and I don't know where they have put him." No sooner had she said this than she turned around to see Jesus standing there, but she didn't recognize him. She thought it was the gardener. Mary asked if he had taken away the body. Jesus said her name, Mary. She turned to him and said, "Rabboni," which means teacher. John chapter 20, verse 16. Then Mary went to the disciples and shared what Jesus had said to her. The Gospel of John describes a close relationship between Mary of Magdala and Jesus. When the other disciples come and go, Mary stays nearby weeping, searching for clues of Jesus' whereabouts. Her grief is real. She has listened to his teaching and experienced his healing love. This type of deep friendship suggests a break with the social conventions of the time. Jesus regards Mary as an equal among the male disciples, and in an age when a woman's word was suspect, calls her to be an apostle to the apostles. In the Gospel of John, Mary is an authoritative eyewitness because she was the first to see the risen Christ. In John and in Matthew, Mary of Magdala is sent by the risen Christ to proclaim the most important news of Christianity, the Easter event. Mary of Magdala meets the Pauline requirements of an apostle, and it is Mary, not Peter, who is the first to encounter the risen Christ. Mary leads the group of women who witnessed Jesus' death and burial, the empty tomb, and his resurrection.